because the next speaker is someone, yeah, the next speaker is a lapsed Protestant whom I meet at Requiem Masses. We've met at 2 since Christmas, and the last one I think was the most interesting because in the morning we did the Requiem Mass. We weren't officiating, but we were there, and getting up and down and trying to work it out. I don't even know if you're Presbyterian or Church of Ireland.
No,
no. But I mean, you know, if you're Church of Ireland, you're kind of used to getting up and down, but if you're Presbyterian, it's even more alien. So I'm Church of Ireland, so I sort of knew it. But every so often I would cast an eye at Glenn in the middle of the Requiem Mass, just to see, was he doing the responses, or what was he doing? And he was being a lapsed Protestant, and I was too. But the last of these amazing Requiem Masses that we attended was followed by a trip to Belfast Wheel the very evening. So on the same day, Glenn has been a bit of an absentee because he's been working on the Lannan, with the Lannan Fellowship Award that he's had, a 2-year award. So he's been writing and working on his work. So I don't see much of him. So it was amazing in the one day to see him on the Belfast Wheel and in the chapel. So really, someday we're going to have to meet in a Protestant church, Glenn. Over to Glenn.
We also meet occasionally on the Belmont Road for coffee, and about a month ago I met John for a coffee, and he invited me to what I heard as desert island sex.
And you said yes?
I actually went straight home and I wrote it in my diary, and I thought, well, we'll work this out somehow. He said, I'm hoping to get Leontia involved. Maybe Ian and Kieran and Ivan in Old English as well. I was thinking, and because I'm not around the Heaney Centre very often at the moment, I haven't seen the posters, so I wasn't disabused of that until.
Well, are you yet?
When I came into the room and I saw the audience, I thought that was probably. So luckily I had a change of clothes, so I don't have my... This wasn't what I was going to wear for the desert island sex. It's in the bag that says 18 on the outside of it there. So... I don't really want to comment. This book was not... I didn't want to call this book Lapsed Protestant. That was not my idea at all. That was the idea of the publishers. You're a new island. And in particular the suggestion of a man called Edwin Hegel, who suggested to call it Lapsed Protestant. And it's a collection of non-fiction pieces. And I said, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible title. And he said, well, you know Joe Connor's book, The Confessions of an Irish Male? I said, yes, I do. I know that. That's a good title, I said. He said, well, Joe didn't like that title at all. I said, oh, right. So we told them we were going to call it The Length of My Penis and Other Short Fictions. Joe said, you know what? He said, that's a great title. And I said, you know what? Lapsed Protestant is pretty good as well. So. However, the only thing, and I don't want to say an awful lot about Protestantism and churches, but when John and I were sitting there through responses, we did have Presbyterian wafer. We had a Tic Tac each. I passed him one, so we did something. This is a small piece called The True Embodiment. It's about singing. In the early summer of 1973, with a murder rate in Northern Ireland of roughly 1 a day, and a bombing rate in Belfast that sometimes felt of closer to 1 an hour, my primary school decided to mount a production of Gilbert and Sullivan's Iolanthe, in which, for reasons which take 3 acts and innumerable songs to explain, a conflict erupts between the House of Lords and the Kingdom of the Fairies. I sang O Little Town of Bethlehem at the audition, and landed myself the lead role of Lord Chancellor. Not long before, Dustin Hoffman, then 32, had been aged to look 121 in Arthur Penn's Little Big Man. Finicky Primary School's teachers set their sights a little lower, aging an 11-year-old by a mere 50 years. But then Penn had the legendary Dick Smith and a Hollywood effects budget to call on. Finicky Primary had a few sticks of grease paint. Still, the audience watched awed by the transformation, or so I always remembered it, as old man me marched onto the stage to sing, "The law is the true embodiment of everything that's excellent. It has no kinds of faults or flaws, and I, my lords, embody the law." I could sing it for you now. I could sing all the other characters' songs too. In fact, I did sing all the other characters' songs back then, or at least I mouthed them in between singing my own. Why not? I was having the time of my life up there. In a touch worthy of Gilbert and Sullivan themselves, I had fallen in love with the girl playing the boy with whom the girl who was my ward was in love. The finale had us all, lords and fairies, singing "It's love that makes the world go round" and flying off to fairyland. Recently, I found a photo of the Leeds standing in the school playground. There is the girl playing the boy who is loved by the girl who is my ward. And there I am at the centre, a chubby 11-year-old with tinfoil buckles on my black gutties and purple and white lines on my face. And there at our backs is the school fence, and beyond it, who knows what manner of early summer '73 mayhem.